I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Been spending most of their lives living in the gangsta's paradise. They've been spending most of their lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise.
Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my tin in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know.
Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise.
Power and the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour, everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking what's going on in the kitchen. But I don't know what's cooking. They say I got to learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they front. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool.
We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangsta's paradise. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are
Wow, wow. Yeah, it's very interesting to pay close attention to the lyrics today. I have heard this song a few times before. So it's important for me to focus on the lyrics because I don't think I've done that in the past. So, wow, it was a beautiful song lyrically. What are your thoughts, Max and Kirti?
Well, it's a song on gangsters in the way of life, really. So he's talking about how life is tough and how the ones really hurt is the you and me, as it seems. So basically, he's saying that for all the gangsters, really, and all the people who live on the crime-infested areas and who have to partake in crime to survive, they're the ones who suffer the most from it, really, and the toughness of the life they live in. So it may be the gangster's paradise, but the paradise ain't no utopia.
It ain't no utopia for sure. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? What does those lines mean to you, Max, when you hear this song?
Well, it means really that they are the ones who are stuck in this gangster's paradise and they cannot really leave once they're in it. And that it's suffering for them. So it may be a gangster's paradise, but really the life is tough for them. He's also saying that he doesn't know when he'll die, and that he may live 24 and right now is 23. So the toughness of it, and no one, everyone is running for the
Yeah,
money.
he says he's 23 now, but will he live to see 24?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't know. So it's that bad for him.
I mean, he gets a lot of
It
reputation.
starts only with as I
Yeah.
walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Such deep lines talking about the horrific path of
Yeah.
his life that he's on. I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even his mother thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. He thinks that whoever he killed, whoever he harmed, they deserved it. Maybe treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking. Or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. So he's saying you better watch where you're walking and how you're talking in this gangster's paradise because you too could be shot dead tomorrow and you'll be lined in chalk. Referencing, of course,
police in a
crime
movie.
scenes in
Yeah.
movies and real life too. I really hate to grip, but I got a lock. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies want to be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Being spending most their lives. This is the chorus now. Being spending most their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most their lives. So now it's the second part of the chorus that they've been spending time fair enough, but now we keep spending time there. There's no way out really. Even if we want to get out of it, perhaps it's not possible. So keep spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. That's the sad part of it all. That they're stuck in this rut, they're stuck in this place, but there's no way out, it seems. And perhaps if they try to find a way out, maybe they're lined in chalk themselves the next day.
Has it come in like on television somewhere, this song? Because it feels that primary tune of it, the tinkling tune that is the bell-like tune. It sounds so haunting
Beautiful, beautiful.
and
That chorus part is so powerful.
It's very real.
Something like that it
I
goes.
love the
Hummed by
ting,
some
ting, ting that
choir or
keeps
something.
happening. Yeah.
Definitely, it must have been in a movie. I think I remember it's from this Michelle Pfeiffer starring movie, Dangerous Hearts or
Dangerous
or
Minds
something.
you're talking about? Was it there? I don't remember because I like that movie and it's a
I
shame.
think you mentioned it the last time we heard this few years ago.
Yeah, then I
Maybe.
may have remembered then
It
because
also
I
may
didn't
have
remember.
been in other shows and all, I don't really recall.
It sounds.
But it's a powerful
it's
song.
very
Either
nice
ways,
song.
it's so powerful that you hear it the first time
Yeah.
and it hits hard. I'm sure Max gets that. Anything else you'd like to say about the way it was sung, the choir in the background do that bit? Anything about that?
It made it feel really soulful for some reason. It was
Yeah.
very impactful. Really could. It was very deep. The song with the choir in the background. Really, it was not really like a usual rap song all about gangster life and all the fame and the money. Here, it's like they're stuck in a party over here. The gangster's paradise is all party only. All these poor people with guns all over the place.
Yeah, he can't live a normal life. He's been raised by the street, and too much television watching, unfortunately, has got him chasing dreams, as he says in the lyrics. So he's got money on his mind and things like that.
Well, everyone's
But,
running, but no
it-
one's
it- it-
looking.
Yeah, it's ain't quite working out for any of them. You know, although they have these dreams, it is tough. And I'm not been myself. I'm myself been in this situation to be honest. But I can imagine. I can imagine how ghastly and tough and dangerous it must be to be in such a situation where you don't know whether you'll be alive tomorrow. So it's tough. It's tough.
Do you remember you guys used to.
Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. What powerful
Yeah.
lines in this song.
Sabi, you remember you guys used to watch this show where this woman goes undercover and she interviews these people. What is that show name?
Trafficked
Traffic.
with Helen Mirren.
I never quite liked the show because it's just interviews and mostly her investigation and getting deeper. But I know for the fact Max watched a lot of it, finding it very interesting. And this song definitely, it's kind of reality there, and here it's a musical form of it, isn't it?
Sure, they did very good at really making people understand how these criminals work and what's really going on. Really,
On the mind, yeah.
The news and government is very bad educated people at crime and how it works. They just say crimes happen and law enforcement and what to do. These shows really give insight in how these organizations run, how what these criminals do really. Like what do they do behind? You only see what happens, like with so and so dead body here, drugs found. You don't to see what goes behind the whole process really.
Right.
It's like explanation of how these people live their life and what is. It's like an industry they got here. It's like a chain, it's like a company they got all these criminals. So they all have their own work and professions going on in it.
Right.
Most of which is hidden from the media. The media gets very little clue of what's actually going on in this criminal
They do
organizations.
get it, but I don't know whether they think it is worthy of being told to people, because each time, crime is just a number for news channels. So each time they cannot really focus every story and
Well, the news only gives surface level stuff.
It just gives a headline or a surface level understanding of it, but that show definitely was digging deep into the psyche of it and the whole operation and how things were operated and operators of it and things like that, and why was it happening, what was the background of it and things like that. I like this. Same goes with Dangerous Minds. I mean, that's a phenomenal movie. I have to watch it again because it's been a long time. Every few years, when I think of it, then I have to get sit down and watch it, because it's one of those movies that keeps you grounded at the same time, gives you sense of purpose in life. So I often like to go back to movies that give you purpose in life. You really have to always remain grounded, and at times you have to be reminded to be grounded, because it's not automatic thing in life. So to remain grounded, you really have to keep reminding yourself and have to telling yourself, just like he's talking about his condition and his situation. He's on the ground, but what kind of reality it is. He's talking about that, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, Max's example of the show Trafficked is a really good one for this song.
Yeah.
Because it definitely gives you the song definitely gives you a behind the scenes look at this person's life. From the outside, we don't really know what's happening inside this person's house, inside this person's mind, inside this person's day to day life. So, this gives you some great insight into this person's life. How he thinks, what is his situation, how he's living on a day to day basis, wondering if the next bullet is going to strike him in the head. So, it gives you great insight into this gangster's mind. He might be living in gangster's paradise, but when you read the lines and you read in between the lines, you realize that he doesn't want to be in this place. It's not rosy for him. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to be away from this place, but finding a way out seems to be the toughest thing for him right now. So it gives great insight, just like the show Trafficked. Certain episodes of it anyway give you great insight into the life of a gangster or a drug lord or a criminal a major criminal of doing something wrong or illegal. So it gives you great insight. It's a good song, and definitely for someone looking to get into this kind of life, or is tempted by whatever bad company or whatever, by being in bad company to get into this kind of life, it definitely gives them food for thought that don't do this. It's not as rosy as it seems. You might have a certain vision of it through certain movies and TV shows, but it's not as rosy as they make it out to be. So it's very, very tough, and he's seen people die, friends he's lived with, grown up with, he's seen them die. So, it's really tough life. So if you're tempted to get into this kind of life, don't do it. It's a very powerful and inspirational song if you see it that way. Well written by the artist COOLIO. I'm assuming the songwriter is the artist COOLIO. I'm not sure if it's a group, if it's an individual, not sure. Beautiful, beautiful song. It's a song that comes along once in a while. A song like this doesn't come by for an entire year, it seems. The whole of 2025 may go by and you'll not find a single song of this caliber like the one we heard. So it's a once in a year kind of song. A whole year may go by literally and you won't find a song of this caliber. So that says a lot. Of course, this has not been released in 2025. It's possibly 2 decades odd old, not sure. But wow, what a great song it must have been back then also. if people just took the time to listen to it bit by bit and piece it all together like we are doing today or attempting to do today. Thanks to your love and support, we've been around on this channel for over 8 years now, on this platform for over 8 years to be precise, and making over 8,000 reactions along the way. It wouldn't be possible without your love, support, and of course, watching our videos again and again and again. So, getting us millions and millions of views along the way. So, thanks to you, we are able to continue doing this. And our son has joined our team, son Max, and he's giving his insight for the first time in his life. He's listening to this kind of music. He's not been exposed to music as much as I have, for sure, and he's definitely learning the ropes. But it's been an interesting journey for all three of us. Nevertheless, thanks to you. So that's it from us. Goodbye.